Episode 199. We're so close. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Batman and Robin, and we have G.I. Joe. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, our interview with Jeremy Adams went really, really well. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the link above my head. And you can click on that and watch that. It's only an hour long, and I had a couple of other comic book creators on there. It was very informative and fun, and we all just kind of riffed. I tried to have specific questions and threw that out the window. Anyway, let's jump right into Batman and Robin. This is by Joshua Williamson, right? No, it's by Johnson. Okay, yeah. Phil Kennedy Johnson, right? Yeah, Phil Kennedy Johnson. He's doing a really good job with this. This is one of the best Batman books I have read in a very, very long time. What he's doing with Damian is really, really innovative, I think. Not something that I would have done myself to try to give the kid some more of a rounded background, because he comes from a family of assassins. He was trained to be an assassin from a very young age. I mean, he's already young. I mean, for all I know, he started at 5. Kill the nanny. But anyway, I thought he's very mean to a little girl at this fundraiser who ended up getting, I thought, killed. But she didn't, according to this. She just went to the hospital. So he felt very guilty about that. And then Bruce wanted him to know a little bit more about his past. And so he gave him the diary of Thomas Wayne, which is his dad, which would be Damian's grandfather. And when he found out that he was a doctor and she was in the hospital, his mind started going in that direction. Meanwhile, we're getting this back and forth past thing about when he was learning how to be a detective. He was being trained along with a few other people, and they were going against this serial killer named Memento, which somebody is copycatting on right now. So that's why there's that bridge. So I really like all these little intricate pieces that Phil Kennedy Johnson's doing. So we start out with, which now the girl, this is the past. Anything that's like this yellow is a flashback, and that is Bruce there with the girl who has become a detective now and is kind of working with Batman, not knowing that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So she's trying to profile him. He keeps lying and saying that his past is this, and she's like, no. And he's like, well, this is no. And she keeps bringing it up. And then he says, why do you do this? And then he ended up saying, because somebody has to. And then she says, that's the first thing that you said truthfully. But anyway, then they find out, because they're staking out the Memento thing. So they're all staking this out. And then they end up seeing their instructor. And he goes inside where they think the Memento guy is, and they chase after him. They're like, why is he here? Is he going to go get into trouble, etc.? And then I forgot what happened at the end of the last one, but apparently there was some kind of a prison break type of situation going on. So all the inmates are out and Batman's in the middle of it. And, he's kicking butt. And he's like, oh my God, get away from me. But I guess there's some kind of poppy gas or whatever else that's going around. And Batman gets infected with it, and something to do with Memento. And he sees some kind of, I thought it was like the Hindenburg crash, but it's something that happened in Gotham. And Memento is there, and he's like, no, this is not real. And then we switch back to Damian at the hospital. He wants to go in and talk to the little girl, but he doesn't really have the nerve to do it. And this doctor who is mentoring him says, you know, you're going to have to go in there eventually. She'd love to see you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't think I'm ready yet. But he's basically helping at the hospital. He's kind of volunteering. But then he gets a alert about his father. And he's literally talking about Bruce. But then he gets an alert about Batman. So, of course, he leaves to go help. And Memento's there. I really don't like when they do some of this weird mental stuff. But that's what's going on. This is all in his head. He knows it's all in his head, but he's still fighting it. I'm not sure. But anyway, then look at that guy in the front there is Crane, which is the Scarecrow. He's like a little child. Crane is tall. That I would have, as editor, I would have had that changed. But it looks like a child. I was like, who is that? But then you find out later that that's Crane, and Crane is being infected by the same poppy thing. And I guess the poppy thing is a derivative of his fear gas, or his fear toxin, however you want to say it. But then, you know, even in his mind, he's fighting now this big monster. I don't know. I really didn't like that part. But anyway, he ends up going out. Some kind of explosion, falls out the thing, and he's falling. And this is where Robin shows up to save him. So Robin ends up, yeah, it's right there. Ends up grasping for him. And the next shot we see is inside the Batmobile. And he's remembering, you know, his mentor and Memento in the past. And look at the time on that. It's kind of strange. We have all the way down to milliseconds. I don't think that we need milliseconds in a comic book. So, but anyway, so we flash back again to the whole thing with his mentor and Memento. Said that 100 times fast. And when Bruce finally wakes up, he wakes up on the ground. I guess he just kicked him out the car. He's like, get out. Because I'm sure he couldn't carry him around. He's too small. And Bruce is like, what happened? And he's like, you were out for like an entire day. He had him sleep on the ground for an entire day. Didn't even bring him a pillow or nothing. I don't know what's going on there. And he's like, well, we have to go. And he's like, you shouldn't be going anywhere. You're not ready yet. You know, your mind is still, you know, messed up from this thing. You almost died. You could say thank you for saving your ass. But he's like, I got to go to the hospital. And he's like, no, I need you. You can't go. And he's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. But then I guess the bat signal lights up. And he's like, I'm going to go do this. And then I'm going to do what I got to do. And you got to do what you're going to do. But after all that, he suits up anyway. After, you know, he basically said, you're not ready to get Jack Bacon. And he's like, I'm fine. No, that's not happening. So he ends up back on top of the GCPD in reference to the bat signal. And there's the girl there along with Commissioner Gordon. And they're like, well, the toxin pretty much took Scarecrow out. So I need you to take us to his lab. And he's like, well, I know where it is. And then Robin says the same thing that Bruce had said in the beginning. You know, somebody has to. And this jogs her. And he says, you know what? We'll go with you. Meanwhile, he contacts Oracle. And Oracle's like, you shouldn't be out. The same thing that Damian said. He's like, I'm fine. He's like, well, I'm sending you a partner. That's pretty damn quick. But anyway, he says, I don't need a partner. And she's like, yes, you do. And, you know, there's Jason. And that's it. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. I really like it. I think that Kenny Johnson's doing a really good job here. Although the whole mental thing with the giant and all that stuff I could have done without. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So I'm waiting to see what happens now. Will it make a good film or television show? I don't know. I want to see how this ends first. Because so far it's good, but it could take a turn. Oh, before we jump to the next thing, remember, too, that I am a comic book writer myself. And if you'd like anything signed by me, This just got picked up by Blood Moon. This is a 6-issue story. It's based on my, it's 150 pages long. It's based on my 4-novel series that was also made into an RPG and a board game, and it's an epic sci-fi fantasy book. And then this is my Vampire Mob. Oh, that's also on Audible, by the way, too. If you like reading, hearing things on Audible instead of reading it, the first book is on Audible, and I have a male and female team reading it. So men are doing the male voices and females doing the female voices. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, this is my Vampire Mob set in 1950s Hollywood. It is True Blood meets The Godfather. This is a 2-issue, double-sized issue. It's 48 pages long, and it's a good little revenge story. And I also have issue 2, that's issue 1, and these are both 48 pages each. That's Marilyn Monroe. This takes place in the 50s, and you can see the Nosferatu there. So I have different covers. That's the Marilyn cover. This is the Katana cover. This is the Were Panther cover. I also have this in a nude version, and I also have them digitally too. The Samurai cover and the Helene cover. So if you'd like any of them, let me know. Again, I do sign them, or I do have them digitally as well. Plus, we hooked up with Moonstone Books, who has the rights to the Green Hornet, and they are doing an 89th anniversary Green Hornet book anthology hardcover. This is not it, but this is an example. This is one of the previous ones they've done. And this one is being helmed by one of the main writers, is Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn, if you're a fan of Star Wars. Also Kevin J. Anderson, Bill Willingham. There's just a pile. The cover is being done by Matt Wagner from Batman and Grendel. It's going to be really cool. We're going to be launching in 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks now, the end of the month. But you click on the link below, or you can go to greenhornetnoir.com and get signed up for notifications. There's a little video there. It shows all the people involved. It's going to be awesome. I would definitely check that out. All right, so let's jump into G.I. Joe. Everybody's got to sing that thing. Every time I see a review on it, everybody got to sing it. So this is issue 3. This is Joshua Williamson, which is the one I changed from before, from Batman. I got them backwards. But anyway, so we had a really bad fight there. It was some kind of an isotope or whatever else they were trying to get. And they were going up against Cobra and Mercer, which is the big dude that works for Destro. But anyway, they got their asses kicked. The thing got taken from them. And they have Energon weapons that are being powered by Energon. But instead of having them take it, or have the Joes actually get a thing, they had Cobra Commander exploded them all remotely, and Rock and Roll was killed, which I find very strange that they're killing off main characters right in the first thing here. But anyway, so Clutch ended up piggybacking on them and is now in the Cobra hideout. So that's Clutch there, putting on the helmet. And he is now pretending to be a Viper. And he's just literally just walking around. And he sees this whole big thing, and he's like, whoa, that's really big. But there's Mercer there, kind of says, pushes him aside and says, get to work, you lazy bum. And he's like, yeah, okay, don't shoot me. And Destro shows up and says, don't kill our own people, please. If he only knew, I guess. But anyway, so he starts telling them what he's doing with the next stage of their plan. And Cobra Commander comes out and says, don't be so hasty on giving out information. We have unexpected visitors. And Destro's like, what? We're in Mars, which is their name of his company. And he's like, yes, we have somebody here that is a betrayer. And I love the way the paper feels, by the way. You can't feel it from here, but But anyway, one of their scientists tries to come up behind him and stab him, and he basically grabs him and crushes his skull, basically. And he basically throws him down this pit. And he's from Cobra Law, which is why he looks like a viper. And he's like, he tells Destro, you're going to have to vet your scientists a little bit better. And he tells the scientists, they sent you to die, meaning Cobra Law. And he throws him into literally a pit of snakes. And he's like, oh my God, this is going to hurt. Oh my God, stop it. So now we switch back to where we ended the last issue with this guy named Risk and duking it out. Say that 100 times fast too. And Baroness is like, why are you letting this go on? And he's like, it's better just to let it go. He's like, so she's like, is this supposed to be like team building? I thought that was a pretty good line. But anyway, they continue fighting until a knife comes out of nowhere and sticks right by each of their heads. And we find out that it's Stalker, which is one of my favorite characters. And Stalker's like, would you guys stop it? We just had somebody die and you guys are fighting amongst yourselves. Come on, get it together. I thought that was pretty good. And he's like, and I got to go call Rock and Roll's family and tell him he's dead. Get your shit together. I like that a lot. But anyway, so we have, what I don't like a lot is the artwork. The artwork in Real American Hero is so much better. So much better. I don't know why they have this artist on it, but they continue to use them. But anyway, they got a broken rifle, and Risk is like, well, what is it? And he's like, well, it fires lasers. And she's like, do you know what kind of power source that would need to fire lasers? And then he draws the Cobra thing, the logo. And he says, this is who we're up against. And then CoverGirl comes in, her arms are burnt. That's why, she has the bandages on. So hopefully they're only second-degree burns. But anyway, he says, we got a call from Clutch. And here's the garbled communication. And he's like, I'm in the belly of the beast. And they're going to go after somebody money. What's his name? Archibald. Which I thought it was Dr. Mindbender, but I guess his name is Dr. Venom. I'm not familiar with that character. But anyway, so they're like, we have to go. And what's his face says, the general says, yeah, he's already in our custody. He's being transported right now. And they're like, oh, we better get to him before he does. So, we got the car chase. And he's like, really? Is this, that's the guy there that they're after? And he's like, is the restraints really necessary? And they're like, yes, we don't want you going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And they're like, we're with Cobra, and you're coming with us. Which I guess he already is. He's already restrained. I don't think why he needs the gun. But anyway, then the Joes come into the play here, and he tries to escape. And you have Duke right behind him, and Baroness, and Risk come out, on their bikes. And the Cobra guy's on the ground. He's like, you will not stop, Cobra! And I don't know why he's wearing a Cobra shirt. That would pretty much give everything away. But anyway, kicks him in the head. And then they try to get away with Mr. Money. Dr. Money, whatever his name is. And we have the twins show up. Pretty cool. But I thought it was a very quick read. I wish there was a little bit more meat to it. But yeah, so far I really like it. So yeah, I think this will make a good movie. Yes, I like all the origin stuff. I would love to see a really good G.I. Joe movie. And, of course, this is also hooking up into Transformers as well. So that would be amazing if we could do like a whole Hasbro universe type of thing. And then yeah, Batman and Robin. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Of course, we're already getting a Batman and Robin, Brave and the Bold from James Gunn, so it's not really nothing to talk about there. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to give me a like and a thumbs up if you can. And if you can, subscribe, ring that bell, ding, ding. Hey, it's free. Why not? Get notifications about when I drop new videos. And, yeah, when you want to check out the Green Hornet anthology, go to greenhornetnoir.com or click in the link in the description below. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. All right, bye-bye. Have a great week.